Bless up, people. GLACEON is here. GLACEON is here. I'm super excited. I don't know if you can tell by the giddiness in my face, but we have ourselves GLACEON GX as well as Leafeon GX. We'll also go over in this video. We're gonna be going over GLACEON and a bunch of other cool cards that were announced these past couple of days, and just things that I probably missed and I want to get my first reaction for on screen. We're going to talk about GLACEON here. 200 HP evolution. So once again, Water Energy evolves straight to GLACEON turn 1, which is very important specifically for this Pokemon. We'll talk about that in a second. But you're weak to Metal, which you guys saw my Metal video yesterday. Not excited about that. Doesn't even matter though, because those Metal Pokemon Oko everything. But GLACEON's pretty cool. It's got a really broken ability. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, each of your opponent's Pokemon EX, not each Pokemon GX and EX, each of your opponent's Pokemon EX and GX in play in their hand and in their discard pile has no ability except for Freezing Stare right here. So that means that if you were to go first playing this GLACEON GX, you put down the Eevee, you attach the Water Energy to Eevee, you evolve to GLACEON using your ability, and you pass. And then your opponent cannot play Lele. And that's all that matters. No more easy to get turn 1 Bridgets. No more easy to get draw spores, get you stuck out of a situation. Yeah. So like relevant Pokemon that have no abilities, mainly Lele, but you also have things like Zoroark. What else? What are some big Pokemon that format? Oh, I don't know. Gardevoir. What else is pretty good? Glitchxcity doesn't need it. But like, Volcanion, you know? Volcanion. It's a little bit wild that you can just turn off abilities like this. It's just a little bit wild. So that's kind of cool. We also have Frozen Bullet. Just the same thing as Umbreon GX. You do 90 damage to the active, 30 to the bench. With a choice band, that's 120. 2 KO potential on pretty much everything except for 250 HP Pokemon. Hate those Pokemon. And there's 30 damage on your opponent's bench Pokemon. Cool. So you have a Pokemon that can turn off your opponent's abilities. Not your own, by the way. I have to preface that. I have to say that again and again and again. Not your own Lele's, not your own Zoroarks. No, just your opponent's. And you can also attack with it consistently and easily because it's a water double colorless. You attach the Water Energy to evolve turn 1, DC the following turn, Frozen Bullet over and over and over and over again. Polar Spear GX is pretty good too. 50 damage times the amount of damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. It's pretty relevant whenever you talk about Frozen Bullet, because if you do 30 damage to the bench, that means that Pokemon, if you attack with your GX deck, you can do 150 to that Pokemon, which is 180, or 210 with Choice Band, which is pretty relevant as well. So that's something to keep in mind. But this card is kind of wild. It's a little bit wild. It's stupid disruptive. And there's so many things you can just throw this in, all right? Now, obviously, it's going to be abused the most in water as part decks, which is why I'm super excited, because you guys know I play Maximum Rarity Ninetales, because Ninetales is my favorite. It's my favorite deck in the format right now. Not because it's like the best deck, but because it's my favorite. It's my favorite Pokemon that is a card right now, like competitive, like it as a competitive card right now. Like it's in my top 5 is what I'm trying to say. And wow. I just tech in a 1/1 line of Mew and GLACEON, and then you just do whatever you got to do to bridge it turn 1 and put the GLACEON out turn 1, and wow, I am excited. I'm excited to try this out. I'm excited to make decks just completely based around GLACEON. Just it's a water type, so you have Aqua Patch, you have Brooklyn. Never mind, Brooklyn doesn't help this, but like it's kind of wild. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. I think that this is going to take a huge toll on the meta. I don't know. It depends on how many decks play this card, but it's going to be kind of rough because most water decks are not great, right? Like you have Lapras, which is weak to Glitchxcity, and you have Ninetales, which is weak to Metal variants. And Metal variants is going to be pretty huge when this card comes out. So I'm not too sure how like balanced versus unbalanced this card is, but excuse me, I do know that it's going to be good for the decks that do play it. But once again, it's hard to pull off turn 1 unless you play Water Energy. So something to keep in mind. Now we're going to go over some other cards. The first card I actually want to go over is Cyrus, the Prism Star supporter. So like the article told us a while back, we're getting some supporters and energies, I believe is what it said, as Prism Star cards as well, which means these Prism star cards, you can only play one of in each deck, but they're usually going to have a powerful effect. This one's pretty interesting. I'm not too sure if I like it, but Cyrus, I mean, all that Gen 4 love, what can you say? The artwork, I'm not too sure how I feel about it. I really hope they don't make full arts of these cards. Like, I really, really, really hope they don't do it, because that's more money out of my pocket. I don't want that. Okay, but with all the water and metal support we're getting, this card can only be used if your active Pokemon is water and metal. Your opponent chooses 2 of their bench Pokemon, then your opponent shuffles their other bench Pokemon and all cards attached to them into their deck. It's a supporter card, which is cool. It means you can grab it with Lele. So there's that benefit. It's interesting because if you discard it, it goes straight to the lost zone. You can't use it anymore. But it's weird. I don't know how I like it. Only because of the way the meta is right now. Maybe if because GLACEON gets really big, people play less Leles and then this card becomes really good. But because your opponent chooses 2 of their bench Pokemon, I'm not too sure how I feel about it. Because they can just choose their 2 Leles. Or they can just choose the things that aren't Leles, right? And then they would shuffle all their Leles back in the deck and boom, they have more Leles to use throughout the game. You're not limiting their bench space either. Maybe you play Cyrus into a parallel, but even then they still have 1 bench space open. And it's very deck specific, which is what I like. I like these really powerful cards to be deck specific, but like there's a couple matchups like this could be really good in Decidueye because a lot of Decidueye players don't even have to play 2. They don't have to play multiple Leles down. They usually have a bunch of space for their Zoroarks and their Decidueyes. So in that matchup, it's kind of good. I don't know. But like if you think about stage 2 decks, usually they don't have that many stage 2s out at once. So that's not even a huge worry for them. And they can just keep their stage 2s because that's the whole point of them working towards that Pokemon. So I don't know. I don't know if I like this card. I don't think I'd play it, honestly. Unless like I'm playing a heavy disruption deck, I don't think I'd play this card, to be honest. But it's pretty interesting. It is worth talking about. Next card is Missing Clover. Missing Clover is a brand new card with a brand new effect, which is really interesting. Its effect is you may play 4 Missing Clover at the same time. If you play 1 Missing Clover, look at the top card of your deck. Then put all the cards back. Then put that card back. If you play 4 Missing Clover at the same time, take a prize card. So it's a new way to take prizes without attacking. So that's really interesting. We have some cards that combo well with it. Let me see if I can actually find it. We already finished talking about GLACEON, right? Let's go to the back over here. But we have like some other combo cards. Shoutouts to Poke Beach, by the way, for being an amazing website. Here it is. We have Looker over here. We have a couple new supporters. We have Looker first. Oh my god, why'd you do that? This is what it looks like, I guess. I don't know why they didn't pop out, but whatever. Draw 3 cards from the bottom of your deck. That's pretty cool. You have this Oranguru over here. Can I zoom in on it? Yes, I can. All right. Okay, computer. I know that I'm recording right now, but you don't have to be super slow. First of all, this is my first time looking at this artwork, and I love this artwork. It is adorable. 120 HP, which is not great, but it has resource management. Put 3 cards from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck. So you can use this attack to put back 3 Clovers, and then use Looker to draw them directly into your hand the following turn. It's to take a prize every other turn, more or less, without the need to attack. Besides, this resource management attack. It's a attack confuses for 3 energy, it's just not great. And then you have Looker's Whistle, a way to get Looker. So it's a really good combo, but like you're playing slow whenever you play this card. Looker's Whistle means you can search your deck for up to 2 Looker, reveal them, put them into your hand. That's all there is to it. So you can just put 2 Lookers into your hand. So like there's more cards, like if there's like more cards that put things to the bottom of your deck, this could be a really good card. This could be like a really, really good card. But until then, an attack that does it, it's like 2-turn kind of thing, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. Personally, I don't think it's that great. We did talk about the GLACEON. Let's talk about the Leafeon next. Now, Leafeon, I really want to test to see if it's good, because I can't tell if it's good on paper. It has, once again, 200 HP, evolution, yada yada. We already talked about that. It's definitely going to make building Decidueye variants very interesting, which I can't wait to talk about. But we're going to go straight to the point. Grand Bloom GX is GX attack for 1 grass energy, which means you can use it as early as turn 1. For each basic Pokemon on your bench, search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon. This counts as evolving that Pokemon. And then you shuffle your deck. So if you have a really good turn 1, you get off a Bridget, you get like a couple extra Pokemon down as well. Don't need to play Lele. This is amazingly stupid broken, and I love that. Being able to evolve from your Relics to Decidueyes, maybe your Zoras to Zoroarks, that's really, really good. So I'm a huge fan of that aspect, but at the same time, I'm not too sure yet. Because if you do this, Are you going to continue to, are you just going to take out your rare candies altogether? Are you going to rely on this GX attack and not play Decidueye's GX attack, which is equally as, which is way better in my opinion? I'm not too sure yet. I'm going to try it. Maybe we'll get other grass decks out there that are like really good, like grass evolutions that are really good. Because right now the only one that comes to mind is Decidueye, unless you want to play like grass Venusaur and just play a bunch of grass energies with Genesect and evolve like 2 Bulbasaurs to Ivysaurs and evolve them to Venusaur the next turn, so you have like your 2 Venusaurs, so if one gets knocked out you still have the other one. And you play down your Genesect, you evolve whatever else you play down. Maybe you play like a Tech Zoroark or something, I'm not too sure. Maybe you play Octillery. It's interesting. You have Solar Blade, which is Solar Beam, which is 110 damage for grass up colorless, which is good. I'm so glad that they stuck with this theme of giving these evolutions the type plus a DCE for an attack. Then they have Nature's Bloom. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may heal 50 damage from one of your Pokemon with energy attached to it. So, I mean, it's not like great. It's not an amazing ability. It's decent. But that's how I feel about Leafeon. And once again, for all these cards, guys, let me know in the comments down below how you think and how you feel about all these cards. Alolan Raticate has been getting a lot of hype, which I'm kind of excited about. Alolan Raticate's cool. I like these energy-less attacking Pokemon. 200 HP. Well, these stage 1s and 200 HP, man. Weak to fighting, which is not great, but manageable. 3 retreat cost, which is not great. Resistance Psychic, which is good, but you have the attack throwaway, which is completely free. 40 damage. It does 40 damage. You can discard up to 2 cards from your hand. This attack does 40 damage for each of the cards you discard. So you can do 80 damage with this attack. It pairs well with Zoroark, because that means you can trade away some cards. It's like trading. You can trade and you can discard the 2 cards from your hand, do 80 damage. It's a good way to like empty your hand, I suppose, which is something that's always good, right? Being able to discard cards is always good. You have Hyper Fang for 150 damage, but if you flip tails, it does nothing, which sucks. And then you have Item Miner GX. Search your deck for up to 6 item cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. That's a crazy GX attack. That's a crazy GX attack, especially decks that are like super heavy, item heavy. Like an expanded, this could be cool because you can get like 4 dark patches and like 2 max elixirs, which is absolutely wild to me. But like, it's really cool. I definitely don't hate this. I mean, obviously in Turbo Dark you want to play Darkrai GX. I think. I mean, maybe not. Like Darkrai GX is cool because you can get that one Oko, but like it's for Okos that you can't usually get. So I don't know. It's a cool idea. I'm not too sure. I'm probably not gonna play this card. I mean, it's cool in Gourgeist, right? Hold on. Why did I say Gourgeist? Oh yeah, because you can get a bunch of your tools at once. I don't know why I'm talking about Gourgeist out of nowhere. Like it's a good deck or anything like that. It's cool in water because you can get all your aqua patches. Like, it's cool. I'm just thinking about item heavy decks. I'm not too sure if I'd play this card, but it's really interesting. And you can just toss ones you don't need as well. So I like it. I'm definitely a fan of Eradicate. We'll definitely be building decks with it when it comes out. We have Weavile, which is crazy. I love the other Weavile, and I'm glad that this Weavile is here to pair well with it as well. This attack, Dark Command, does 50 damage times the number of your opponent's Pokemon with abilities. Let that sink in for a little bit. 50 damage times the number of your opponent's Pokemon with abilities. Is this sunk in yet? A lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Wow. Because you have Lele's, Zoroarks, Guardy, these new Sogoleos and things like that. You have that new, all the metal cards I talked about that have abilities. There's a lot of cards out there that have abilities. A lot of them. And you're doing 50 damage for each one on the bench. That's a lot of damage. And it's all for a single grass energy. And you have the other Sneasel as well, which does 60 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon that has abilities. So you have Oko potential with this one, spread damage with the other one. They're all really easy to get out. In Expanded, you have Level Ball. In Standard, you have Nest Ball, Evo Soda, Ultra Ball. Because Nest Ball gives you your Sneasels, right? Bridget, you have a lot of ways to evolve up to Weavile and put them on the bench. So that's a good that's a good card, and I can't wait to play around with it. We'll see how it works in other dark decks, but I'm really excited. You have Cresselia here. Discard an energy from this Pokemon. Switch all damage counters on this Pokemon with those on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's damage change. I guess that's cool for a single psychic energy. It's like this, and that has Psychic, like every other Pokemon. Psychic ability, Psychic attack. They all do the same thing, but it's cool. It's nothing to really look at too hard, but it's cool. We have Shinx and Luxio. We don't have the and the Luxray, of course. So this is a line that needs to be talked about. This is a line that needs to be talked about. In fact, I'm going to talk about it last, but it's a line that needs to be talked about. We have Rotom Mo here. If there are 9 or more Pokemon tool cards in this card pile, ignore the attack cost of this Pokemon. Now this is kind of cool in Gourgeist. Talking about Gourgeist skin. I just played Gourgeist recently, which is why I'm talking about it. I might upload Gourgeist to the channel soon, who knows. We've been playing on stream in a little bit here. But like it does 60 damage, which is whatever, but like discard special energy from opponent's active Pokemon. That's kind of cool. Like it's a consistent grass hitting Pokemon, consistent Pokemon that's a grass type that does 60 damage. It's awkwardly 60 though, because that means you don't OHKO Greninja. You definitely don't OHKO Greninja Break. I mean, if you want to play a belt, I guess you could. I mean, you're already playing a bunch of tools anyways. So it's interesting. I don't know if it's even worth playing, to be honest. Even if you do, and if you have that many tools down, then Ripperonis to your Garbodor matchup. But that's Rotom. We have the new Lunala Prism, which I can't believe I just now remembered that this was a card. Lunala Prism, first of all, let's both take a moment to just really enjoy that artwork. That is a beautiful card. Blessed Game Freak, or TCGO, or whoever, right? Who it is. Hitoshi Ariga. I was just reading who illustrated the card. But blessed to that person, because this artwork is beautiful. That artwork is beautiful. But it's similar to Solgaleo. For each of your opponent's Pokemon play, attach a psychic energy from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. Now, unfortunately, in Standard, there's nothing that can really abuse that. Not yet, at least. It's a cool way to play, like, straight Lunala. Straight Lunala is kind of cool, right? Because you have the new Lunala GX, which I guess I could pull up for you guys. I really, really like the new Lunala GX. But yeah, the new Lunala GX, which is, once again, bless. The artwork for Lunala is always great. 50 damage, whatever. We have 200 damage. Discard 2 psychic energy from this Pokemon. That's a lot of damage. 200 damage is really, really good. I do like that a lot. For its a heavy attack cost, but once again, between DCEs and that Lunala we just looked at, it's not too hard to do. Then you have this Requiem GX, 250 damage. Once again, a lot of damage. And then you have the other Lunala GX that moves energy, so you actually have a really decent max potion deck. Overall, it's very, very strong. I like it. Then you have Psystorm here, 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of your Pokemon in play. So if you get a bunch of energies on the board, like we were just talking about, then Psystorm does a lot of damage. Like it's a deck that does a lot of damage. What can I say? I love it. I'm a fan. The only thing that's unfortunate about all these Lunalas is that they're weak to Dark. Zoroark, OHKOs, most of them. And for some reason, they made this Lunala card only have 230 HP, which means it definitely gets OHKO'd by Zoroark. So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of it right now. But it's pretty cool. I like the idea of it. And then we have the final thing, the Shinx Luxio Luxray line. 50 HP, very, very low HP. But overall, it's not bad. It's definitely not 30 HP. And Runaway Evolution. This Pokemon can evolve the turn it was played if it's the first turn of the player going second. This Pokemon can evolve the turn it was played if it's the first turn of the player going second. So if you were going first on the first turn, you can't evolve. That's a weird rule. Does that mean you want to go second every game? Oh, I get it. I know why they did that. No, that you do want. That's so confusing. Whatever. Cool. That's really cool. But Luxio's where it's at, bro. Luxio is... It's a little scary. Electromagnetic barrier for 1 energy. 1 single energy electromagnetic barrier. 30 damage. Your opponent can't play any item cards from their hand during their turn. Item lock is back, baby. I'm upset. It's item lock. It does 30 damage. It's very similar to Toad, but it's a stage 1. Unfortunately, if you're going second, you can attack the same turn and you can evolve into it the same turn. So honestly, you don't mind going first or second in this if you were to play like this kind of deck, which is really cool. And then you have Luxray, which you can keep in the back, but that's really cool as well. Luxray has 150 HP with Intimidating Fang. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, any damage on this Pokemon by an opponent's attack is reduced by 30. So I practically like you have 180 HP, so that's kind of cool. And Voltage Arrow, discard all lightning energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack is 150 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So, damage, item lock with this, and then if they were to switch, finish them off with Voltage Arrow. It's a cool little combination, and I can't wait to see how good of a deck this is. We just have so many good decks right now, but unfortunately, it's only 158 HP, which means you're targeting the like 180 HP Pokemon, maybe the 210 HP Pokemon. But what about all these ridiculous 250 HP Pokemon coming out? Huh, Pokemon? Huh? Can somebody trash Solgaleo, please? I'm upset. Anyways, that's all the cards I wanted to talk about today. I'm just excited about GLACEON. I just want to do this video because I want to try out Facecam, see if you guys like it. Seems like a good format, a good like way for me to do it is right here in like this kind of video where I'm talking to you guys directly, asking for things like that. You know, like TCGO works as well, but like TCGO, I'm distracted by like the screen, the audio levels, and actually playing the game, right? This one I'm literally just looking at a card, talking to you guys, and be like, how do you guys feel about it? Also, I gotta learn to look at the camera and not like over there. So over there is where my face is, but that's the camera. I could technically move my camera like over here. Then it becomes like, whatever, you know what? Professionalism at its best. Drop a like if you haven't already, subscribe, share all that good jazz. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you guys for all the support you guys have been giving me lately, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.